We love a good Charlores. I get ready to start the stream.
That Charlores was well done, my friend.
Oh.
It's like President Trump ordered her at a restaurant. Ayo.
Oh yeah, doesn't he like well done? All the steaks are well done.
He likes well done with ketchup on the side.
He dipped it in ketchup.
If that doesn't,
can we launch him into the sun yet?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, yeah, like fry him up like one of his steaks. Yeah, I don't know how like any red state like
that is a crime.
Dudes could have ever abided by that because that's like something that just screams untrustworthy.
Ketchup on a burger, that's fine. Ketchup on steak is a crime.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That's something that like a 5-year-old would do, you know? I mean, and that kind of checks out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, Sean Tank Top. We're over here in Casa de Tank Top. We got Casa de Dreas and we got Casa de Azor Ahype over there with Kyle. I'm Sean Tank Top. That's Dustin and Morgan down there. Say hi, guys.
Yo,
what's up, y'all? And if you know him, you love him, you've seen him before. He's the man in you're the man in flannel, Azor Ahype himself.
He's got many faces.
I'm Kyle, a man of 1,000 faces. I'm Kyle Lisi. I'm Kyle Leshy from The Witcher now. I'm Azor Surprise, Azor Genre. I'm Kyle Loris today.
Right? Yeah, I'm thinking like, but I'm digging all of them, and we're happy to have them. It's Kyle from Azor Ahype. We appreciate you very much for coming by, sir. And we're doing WestWorld Wednesdays, the 6th one that we've done so far. We're basically at like we're in the start of the 4th quarter now, man. Like, cause we're going, we got 2 more after this, right? There's 8 episodes this season.
And it was renewed today for a 4th season. Hell yeah.
I see that. And I was like into it.
That's cool. But what's going on, Tyler? What's going on, everybody? But yeah, so we are talking about season 3, episode 6. What's the name of this one called?
Decoherence.
Sounds much like my state of mind has been for the last
beard.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. The beard's getting pretty wild and wily over there. But I guess we'll start off like real quick with just like what like our general thoughts on the episode. What did you guys think about the episode?
I have some questions about like just the logic in this world, like just how just in general how the host bodies work.
Sure.
But I mean, as far as like a storytelling, and like I love so much about it, even though it felt a little bit guilty pleasure, where it's like when they had like the Men in Black's therapy session. I loved every moment of it, but I'm like,
well, we'll get to that. That is
I'm just like, sometimes they give me what I want, and then I'm like, maybe I'm being I don't know, maybe they're just buttering me up.
Yeah,
that's my favorite scene of the whole season.
Yeah, I was like, is this good or do I just really like watching this? I don't know. Oh, shit.
What's up? It's on Facebook right now. We got Sam Coleman.
Sam. What's up, man?
Buddy. Good to see you. Everybody.
One of the nicest people I've ever met at a con.
Yeah, so it's like we're joined. We have a celebrity guest on, and it is none of us that are on screen right now. Everybody side like to young Hodor, Sam Coleman. What's going on, buddy? We might be the host, my dude. Like we might, it might be, if this show at this point, and it, given my state of mind, the show literally might just reveal itself to be like, no, you guys are the host. And like, I'd be like, oh, okay. And totally.
I would have some notes and some comments about that. I'd be like, why do you design this body to like get pudgy when it turns 30,
right? Until like, yeah, like why did I wake up if I am just like a perfect robot thing? Like, why do I have like lower back pain and stuff like that? You know, come on.
I already have enough existential crises, but this season seems to be particularly nihilistic. So thank you for doing that during a pandemic.
We're gonna make an entire generation of anxiety, depression-ridden host robots.
I know, right?
Who's our savior to rid us of Rehoboam, though? Like, who's going to release all the information to us?
I don't know, man, but COVID world sucks. So
COVID world, oh my god,
favorite WestWorld world.
Yeah,
COVID world blows.
Yeah, it's like you got Westerosi world, you got WestWorld, you got War World or whatever. This is easily the worst world. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So
like, yeah.
There's a rich guy who was like, my vacation, I want to be able to game all day guilt-free. So they gave him COVID World, where it's like, hey, the patriotic thing to do is stay in your house. The most patriotic thing you can do is play Destiny all day. And
COVID World was developed by a true gamer.
Maybe we're on vacation and we don't know.
Maybe they're like, what? We gave you Doom. What more do you want?
You guys got Doom Eternal. So fucking suck it the fuck up. You guys got Doom. You guys got Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing. Yeah, exactly.
You're good.
Yeah, 100%.
It is really ironic though. Like people, they got their wish. What do they think now? Because I've been social distancing for years, and I'm not sure I like this.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, I wish I could game all day guilt-free, and the monkey paw curled up, and here we are.
We gotta figure out who the genie is and figure out how to wish for more wishes, because this one stinks.
It's like the wish master. Yeah, he fuck with you like this.
Yeah. You want to toss a coin to your wish master?
Yeah.
So the theory is 2012 the world actually ended, and we're in the alternate timeline.
There might be something to it. Yeah,
I agree with you that the William therapy session, I couldn't help but feel that it was such a great allegory for what we're going through right now. It was so nihilistic, and he was just like, yeah, what if none of this mattered? And when he just took that other patient down so unbelievably hard and just ripped him to shreds, and Morgan and I were cackling. It was unbelievably funny, and then he just starts laughing at him. Yeah, and it was just so dark and so. I want to memorize that. That's right up there with The Lighthouse for me now, with great monologues of just
we're
nihilism.
We're just the maggots on a corpse.
Oh yeah, right. Oh my god, it was definitely, there was an element of, and it speaks to, and I think because it speaks to the strength of where his headspace is at, where William's headspace is at, as far as when he started to go on that screen, because it does kind of feel like Holden Caulfield-y. It's man, the world's all fucked up, man. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of it. But obviously, I mean, if I found out that I had, inadvertently killed my only child and then was thrown in a nut house by a fucking robot that I used to annually rape and pillage, you know what I mean? On a yearly basis, and was now taking over my company. I would kind of be having a Holden Caulfield moment myself. So I suppose I can give him that, but I was getting that a little bit, but it was but obviously this was Ed Harris got this script and he was like, oh, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? He was just oh shit, this is going to be a lot of fun. What did you think about it, Kyle?
Man, honestly, it was so revealing. I find that each episode too, we talked a little bit about this in the last episode we did. We talked about how kind of each episode has this feature character. That wasn't so much a thing this episode, because Tessa Thompson, we talked about Tessa Thompson having her episode, and Dolores and Caleb kind of having their own thing. But this was really revealing the whole William stuff. I want to kind of focus on 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
One, the conversation he's having with, when she's like, hey, you need to kind of go through this therapy. You need to feel, some sort of, she's basically implying that he needs to feel some sort of remorse for what he's done. Yeah. And you can clearly tell he has regret for killing his daughter.
Yeah, of course.
And I've spoke about on the podcast so far, the live stream so far, about how William is unique in the way that we saw him in WestWorld in episode 4 of last season. He decided not to kill Lawrence's wife. So he's got this fidelity thing on. He's passed a fidelity test more than once, in my opinion.
Sure.
So that is really important, because we see him experience change emotionally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When he thinks he's a villain, and then obviously later on he says he's the good guy, and we see him with James Delos and him kill all of his past selves. But the most important thing that I think that we should focus on is the door, because each season has a specific, the maze, the door, and honestly, is this William's cornerstone, because he went and literally broke his teacher's arm to defend his dad. I don't care about all my dad's kind of quirks and problems. I love my dad. You know what I mean? And that's why he did it. And then we see kind of this pattern that is, his father beat his mother and all these things. And he's questioning whether his life is his own.
Sure.
And I think William. I think the answer is yes, because he's made all these choices. Like he's like, I killed my daughter. I made that choice, even if I was confused. I made the choice to break my teacher's arm. I made the choice to not kill his wife in WestWorld.
Right.
And now we're at the point where he kills all of his past selves, almost in like this, like, okay, now I'm moving forward.
That's a very.
I'm William.
Yeah.
I am me. Will I am. Not Will I am for the Black Keys, by the way.
and then he just starts naming off like all of the days in the week, or it's like Monday. It's like, could you see you get Ed Harris going doing like a dramatic reading of I Got a Feeling Monday.
And you know what's
Tuesday,
so cool? We got young William
Wednesday.
too. Oh my god! I wouldn't be surprised if Ed Harris wanted. Like, I think that was the specifically best acted scene of the whole season. Like, he had to play all of the different parts of himself, like all of these kind of little microcosms of William.
And we even got and then a wild McFoyle fucking appearance and shit like that. We got to have him back, which was very fun. I don't think we had seen him. We hadn't seen him for a while. Was he in season 2? He was in season 2 for maybe a couple scenes, right? Right?
I don't remember.
I can't remember if he was, but it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute since we've seen him.
Now
that was a lot of fun.
Now, one last thing. The one last thing I kind of want to focus on is like, did Dolores, because they took his blood, they have him in the system, but then all the chaos happened, right?
Yeah.
And then they left, and Bernard and Stubbs found him, and then like they found him after he killed all of his past self. So William's in like this realization mode. Did Dolores, because remember when it showed the protein thing, the protein detected?
Yeah.
I think that Dolores injected William with the protein, and I believe it's going to account for him being dead, and he's going to be the outlier that Rehoboam cannot predict.
Outside,
maybe he'll be like, maybe that would be like, it's going to take, because we've talked about the fact that we think that Bernard is an unwitting cog within Dolores's design, but now that he's grabbed, and maybe him and William will be like the final piece of like or something like that. That could be something. Yeah.
The biggest thing is that he kills the man in black, and we see the costume change. William is in white and Dolores is in black.
Sure.
But for Dolores to understand how important William is, like how Dolores wins has to somehow tie to William.
Sure.
I'm sure of it now.
It started. I mean, like a cornerstone of this entire series from the jump has been their relationship and how fucking fucked up and crazy and intertwined with, certainly with his identity, it's been. So yeah, that could stand to be something for sure.
My biggest disappointment, and I say this like very lightly because it was overall like a triumphant episode for both William and Charlotte. Like those two story arcs were really great.
Yes,
the Maeve storyline I felt was the weak point.
Yeah.
Like right from the jump.
I didn't need to see her like take down a bunch of like
Nazis.
Soldiers that don't even exist that she can control with her mind anyway. I was like, why are we wasting time here? I get we're back in WestWorld, but that takes like a 2-second scene.
Yeah.
Right.
You could
her and Caleb are kind of like Caleb had some good stuff, but her and Caleb kind of seem like pushed in almost to the story, right?
Sometimes where they struggle to figure out how to utilize them within the story. Because I'm with you. I think I'm tracking with you 100%, Mo. Where it's just like, where it's like there could have been like literally you could have shortened all of that stuff into one scene where you just see a pile of fucking dead Nazis. Which, hey, awesome, great. I'm all down for that. But you just see like a pile of these bodies, and she's like, well, now that I've kind of gotten my spurs about me, you know what I mean?
He's like, damn it, I'm back in WestWorld. Oh, hey, how's it going?
I saw that as like that. It was like I was expecting her was basically having like an Inglourious Basterds Nazi Rocky training moment. Like, it was like a little bit of like a Nazi montage, and then you get a little like digital like Mickey from Rocky comes in. It's like, you're gonna kill all the Nazis, Maeve. You're gonna eat lightning and crap hosts. You know, like he's gonna do all that.
I was also kind of wondering if I was like, oh, is she looking for soldiers for her army?
I thought that might.
I thought she was gonna see whoever lasts the longest. you're the like get your little ball out of storage and you're gonna get a body or whatever.
Right, like, and you're gonna be like my little MVP warrior person that we're gonna turn into. But then she wanted to get Hector.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only thing we got from that whole scenario. Was Dolores crushing the pearl.
So now we got,
and so it was like so Hector's dead. Cool.
Yeah.
Like
and
that.
like Maeve and Dolores will never be
came
on
back
the
for a
same
minute and then he was
team,
dead. You know?
Yeah.
but did you see who was on the screen? Who they're printing for? Like, did you see?
Yeah, they were gonna say
that was Clementine. They're printing Clementine. Clementine's coming back next episode.
Great.
That'll be fun.
I miss Clementine.
Yeah, right.
Because she was on the last screen and it was like at 30%.
Yeah.
And that's her sequel. Clementine was the most kind of loyal. I guess she experienced the most with Maeve.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great person to bring back.
Did the broken pearl, was that who was that pearl?
That was Hector.
That
the
was
Hector.
No. There was another one that she took with her.
She grabbed. That was another Dolores.
That was the Dolores. Okay, that was the Dolores that was in.
The Dolores that was captured by Serac.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was Connell.
Because remember, Serac got one of the pearls. They actually got it out of Martin Connell's, and they were trying to extract information.
Got it.
In that scene.
Totally. And then they plugged it back in.
Yeah.
And that's who they were talking to in that weird like Hannibal Lecter type of like, where she's just like sitting naked or whatever. It's that she was talking to how do you say it?
Connell. Yeah.
Connellores.
Connellores.
Something else.
You guys are taking on all my. I say Loris onto all of the names now.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I love it.
Musashi Loris.
In the ending scene, when they talk about like the VFX that they used for the big explosion, Tessa Thompson refers to the character as Dolores.
Yes, Dolores.
Which I think ours is better.
No, Dolores.
Dolores is way better than
Dolores, and now you can call her Charred Loris.
Dolores, yeah. I think maybe they crispy critters.
I thought some people arguing about it on Twitter. I'm like, I can see why some people might be upset because of the whole Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
Like, I was totally inspired.
Well,
by
you know that they're gonna have like that. She'll be able to do a better line reading than Hayden Christensen because she's gonna show up and she's gonna see. She's gonna see Dolores Prime, and she's just gonna be like, "I hate you," and like do all that shit like on the thing while she's all charred up and shit.
My first thought was Spawn, and I'm like, is like a John Leguizamo clown gonna jump back somewhere and be like, "Satan needs your help"?
Oh my god, that'd be pretty great.
Wow,
get some John Leguizamo killer clown in here.
That is actually such a great pull from you, like to pick the movie Spawn. Like,
of course, man. He looks like Spawn. He totally looks like Spawn. No, I was gonna say, I mean, like, I'm pulling this one up here. This is from CJ. I mean, like, I completely agree with like the whole like it's like here's Hector and now he's gone. You know what I mean?
I believe it was to Dolores will never be on the same side as Maeve now because I think they were trying to establish that Dolores went too far, and they needed some reason that Maeve
would really relish
swing to some other side or like be against Dolores. Maybe not on
everyone against Dolores.
I mean, it's Dolores versus the world because Char Dolores is totally if they survive, which it feels like they might be able to. Like
I mean, they wouldn't have shown.
Her crawling
away.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, like, so, like, I mean, like, it's going to be basically everyone except for Caleb, and maybe there's going to be some kind of revelation about Caleb over there that yeah, right. I mean, like, that might finally turn him against her as well. So so we'll see.
We didn't get any Caleb or Serac. We get Serac, but we didn't get any Caleb.
No,
it was Caleb. It was Caleb.
No, we just got another Tupac hologram version of Serac.
He's so good at piecing out.
He should go on tour.
He really should bring that to the next Coachella.
That would be good.
I thought he was there too, but then I was like, oh yeah, okay.
He never would. I mean, like it's a good. I mean, like it's a good ploy. It is, but it is definitely. It's a little bit kind of like a Mission Impossible, like kind of like mask pull, like where it's like where they you can do it whenever you need to do it, whenever you need to have a confrontation, but to immediately jettison somebody from the scenario, like they can do it, and that's fine. I mean, like a guy like him would never risk himself. He would never put himself in a precarious position, I think, unless he absolutely felt like he had to. You know what I
Ooh,
mean?
did you see the trailer though?
Well, yeah.
Did
I mean,
not.
like that was.
I did not, because they don't on our streaming. They play the like behind the scenes
The
thing,
featurette,
and then
yeah.
they never play the scenes from
Oh,
next week. And I'm
shit.
like,
Well,
what? I gotta
don't
go
know.
look that up now. Like,
Well,
Which we
y'all
will.
are coming on my channel on Sunday.
we
I don't
will.
even know if I should I even bring it up right now, or should we save it for Sunday?
We'll save it for Sunday.
Save
We'll save it for
Okay.
Sunday. We can talk more.
Yeah.
We'll stay with it. I mean, like, well, yeah, and they, you know, the whole. I mean, like, yeah, she's so, like, she has like she trains up basically. She, you know, whatever. Also, I did love that, like the very, very cold, the big cold open right before the War World thing, where like he basically like this fucking like that field and everything like that. It looked like the fucking set of Jumanji. Like it was like it was like it had never looked kind of more cartoony, where it's like I was waiting for her to look around. It's like, this is a simulation, isn't it? I can tell by the rendering of the clouds or whatever it was. Not that was fine. It was a perfectly fine scene in and of itself. I just thought that it was just like, oh yeah, they clearly didn't like shoot in a field like they did in like season 2, you know, or anything like that.
It was still pretty. I thought it was cool.
It looked nice. It was just kind of like a very. It was just a little bit jarring for a show that is really good about with its visuals. You know.
Yeah. Maeve's gonna have a tough decision to make because Serac's manipulated her like 3 or 4 times this season, and then we have the Dolores thing. So Maeve is gonna be stuck because both people aren't treating her very good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and she's kind of stuck right in the middle.
I think that the number twos being Caleb and Maeve, are going to take out their respective masters.
Yeah.
I think that Caleb is going to make the decision to ultimately like go back and you know and thwart Dolores's plan in some sense. And then I also think that Maeve is going to, when she gets the opportunity, to also take down Serac. Like Serac's going to be sitting real smug, like you know, Dolores Prime will be fucking dead, and he'll be like, I finally beat her. I am doing the one thing. I'm so French. Sorry, apologies to our French Canadian.
No, that was awesome. Thank you.
No, but like, it's like, I am doing so good, you know, like, or whatever it is. And then Maeve turns around and fucking just like stabs him in the throat or some crazy shit like that. Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, like, I feel like that might be, which is what this whole season is about, is this kind of usurping, like everybody's trying to usurp some type of order. And I think maybe that could be something that could happen. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that's in the card?
Well, you know, the one thing I will say in terms of like, you know, Maeve's action sequences being underwhelming in some respect in this episode, which is very counterintuitive to some of the other scenes we got with her, where she's been amazing.
Yeah.
And she's had great fight scenes. But then Tessa Thompson gets the most incredible, like, Captain America elevator scene where she's like, first off, that cape. Can we just?
I like the choreography
costume
of like the using her outfit as her weapon. It was like really cool.
It was super awesome, and like just, you know, her in the hallway, just like every shot was just like boom, boom, perfect, and that scene was so cool. And of course, you know, the ending with the robots.
Got a robot sidekick finally.
Yeah, it was incredible.
To your point, Dustin, it's really interesting because I've seen a lot of chatter on, you know, people about like disappointed about season 2, and then this season people liking it, but like comparing characters, for example, people used to be really low on Tessa Thompson on WestWorld, like, what is she doing? And now we have Maeve in a similar situation, and I can't help but feel like that's kind of the conversation of some of the stuff that we got as Game of Thrones fans in the end. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, because these WestWorld writers, plot is number one. Oh, you know what I mean? And that's super important because they're sticking to the plot. So some characters unfortunately have to suffer because of that.
Right.
And I honestly do think they can do a better job because they are such incredibly thoughtful and talented artists. But I you know, it is like it's like really, and Thandie Newton, come on, like, she's great.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to take anything away, but it is tough though. It's kind of like Tessa Thompson's been a star this season. It's like really hard to see.
Because Charlotte Hale had kind of one mode of like, tough workaholic, suspicious lady,
bitchy
like
corporate lackey type.
Yeah,
thing,
and then Charloris is like conflicted, has like layers, is like an imposter, but like falls in love with her family. It's like crazy. It's there's so much more going on.
There's a lot of meat. There's a lot of melodramatic meat on that bone that it's infinitely more interesting. Her in this, her role. You know what I mean? Like in this season than she had to do last season for sure.
I think it's indicative too, since season 4 just got renewed. Like, who's going to be in the 4th season? You know what I mean? How much story are they giving these characters that might not be on the show next year? Yeah. But you know what I mean? They may have written more story for these people that might not be on the show anymore because they want to utilize their talents and their characters. So that might be a kind of thing too. We might I think Maeve is probably going to survive the season. I don't know, Dolores or Tessa Thompson, you know, and I don't know if that character might. So that might be kind of some of the reason behind some of the decision making.
Yeah, I mean, certainly insofar as like Charloris and like all that stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, like that to me, that tug of war within herself has been, to me, was one of them was right there along with William because they're both battling themselves.
Well, unfortunately, I think that
literally in one like a literal battle of wills was happening on screen when he was killing all the versions of himself.
Right. Well, that makes me think that there's only going to be one Dolores left at the end of this because I feel like because WestWorld always does this like mirroring and foreshadowing and stuff, and the fact that how many versions of William were there? And then there was Delos, who was like this therapist. And I feel like there was so many versions of Dolores, and then there's like Bernard.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that like?
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if the numbers. I don't really know if the numbers pan out on that one.
Sure.
But I'm like, it just made me think because William murdered all his other selves.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be one Dolores left.
There has been a process of elimination this season. It really has.
That's true. I mean, like, yeah, and she's trying, William was successful in killing all of his other selves. And I mean, now, like, I don't know. I don't think she's like necessarily making the decision, but Dolores Prime is for sure like knows that you guys have a part to play. Your guys' purpose is to potentially die for this cause. And so there's a bit, you're talking about a duality has been a fucking enormous thing, especially in this episode. And there's a thing going on between Will and Dolores, like where they're both on this kind of journey of like self-realization.
This is an incredibly Christ-like thing going on with Dolores, not in the sense that she's doing all of these good deeds, in the sense that she's making a sacrifice, and she's going to have to sacrifice herself in her goals, for her like greater means, because we see all these people that are like, you know, living this life under Rehoboam, and then that's released, and she's really had such a big impact on the world. Like, we can't deny that.
Oh, here we gotta put this up, and maybe like let's do a count out because we had 5 Dolores.
It was 5 Williams and 5 Doloreses.
Oh my God!
That's all I'm saying. And then there's like the Delos, and like, is that Bernard or is that Caleb? I don't know.
Totally.
Remember in the chandelier scene with the bloody thing in the middle?
Yeah.
There was 5 things outside of the one bloody one in the middle.
Dang.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I like. No, it's good. You know, now I'm just thinking of the Doors 5-1, baby.
I had a question for you, Kyle, as the one who picks up on very, very minute details. In the Williams scene when he does the flashback to his perceived like good boy version of his younger self, he goes and he walks up to the younger version and he's reading a book. And is there any sort of like connection? It was I forgot what the title of the story was, but I looked it up and I didn't see any sort of like corollary. But is there something that's telling from that?
Yeah, there's some mythology there. I'm still researching that. I'm not 100% sure on that. That's something that I'm definitely going to talk about in the review that I'm writing.
You know what, Kyle? I want to just take a minute to commend you, my friend, because that is something that we need to unstigmatize, and we need to do as a society, especially right now. We're like, I do not have enough information at this moment to give an opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm giving a big applause for that. But that's good. That's a great because there's a lot of strands that you can pull on from this thing, and you can spend all goddamn week.
They don't give you something. And they don't focus on anything in this show without it having some sort of significance.
A little something there, right? Yeah.
I think the thing that we kind of have to focus on, though, is that his dad has these problems, and his dad is mad that he hurt his teacher. And in this scene, he's learning, like, Dolores is like he's being taught by James Delos, someone who basically he was torturing and testing and doing experiments on.
Yeah.
This is like an experiment on William, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I think that while the book might be important, the context of the scene is actually probably what ends up being more important in the end. The whole teacher vibe thing, because he does kill his past self. We see that. I think the Man in Black. If we watch that scene again, I rewatched it. And that was the one that the camera focused on the most. Like I said, we spoke about the kind of the color changes in the costume too. And like the innocence of him being a boy, like that's something like the loss of William's innocence. He lost his innocence at a really young age.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's such a huge thing.
Kind of, maybe I'm just like a dark, jaded person where I was like, that's all? He just broke an arm and knock some teeth out. You can get them put back in. You get arms healed. I was expecting somebody wronged him and he had a good reason. He was doing it out of loyalty, but you bit his ear off or something like
right.
Rorschach
Yeah.
I was expecting a Rorschach you blinded a kid because he called your mom a whore. I could see
that. I mean,
if breaking an arm, some teeth. That guy was talking smack. He kind of had it coming.
Yeah,
shit get hit, man.
No, I do. I have to research it, but I'm remember when he puts the key card in when he thinks his wife is sleeping, and then he makes the confession I was never really yours. I belong to another world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that book is he was probably reading about death, because death is something that is super central to William, because all those books are Kurt Vonnegut books.
Okay. Okay.
Or most of them, anyways.
Yeah.
And the one that James Delos is reading in that experiment is also a Kurt Vonnegut book, which is weird. But I have a feeling it's centered on that, but I'm not sure. I don't have the answer.
No. I mean, and that's kind of what this whole thing with William, I think, has kind of been analogous for, where it's just it seems like he doesn't seem like a very a God-fearing man by any stretch or something, or it's not something that he seems particularly concerned about. So if you're not really
what would have given you that idea, Sean?
But it's so crazy that he has this quest for immortality, right?
Yeah, great analytical mind over here. He spent 5 minutes railing on it via fucking Glengarry Glen Ross, David Mamet scream.
He's given a Vigo the Carpathian on a mountain of skulls and a river of blood. God forsaken us.
Totally. 100%.
Isn't it crazy though? Can I ask you guys this question? Isn't it crazy? The 180 we see with William, he goes from this guy with this quest for immortality to thinking that humans are basically a stain on the planet. That's a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah.
I think that's how life in general.
That's how he views himself. You know what I mean? I think that's how
projecting.
Yeah, that's true.
I would
good thing he's in therapy.
Yeah. Which I did find it very hilarious that the therapist is man, you got to lean into your issues. You got to really forgive yourself for the bad things that you do. And then she gets a phone message that says, "Hey, you've been fucking your patients, and you're addicted to opioids." And she's just well, guess I'll kill myself.
Yeah, right. No, guess I'll die.
Guess I'll die.
No, I was definitely thinking wait a minute, hold on. Is this WestWorld's like Harley Quinn at this point? Because she's
oh my God.
she's banging Westworld Joker. She's fucking hopped up on pills or whatever the fuck it is.
Harley Quinn would never off herself unless it was really funny.
That's
also
it was kind of hilarious. I did kind of get a big because remember when he's walking super slow and he kind of looks over and then
you guys seeing this and they're
nobody else noticed it except for fucking Ed Harris. And
I love his crazy when he's his crazy eyes too.
Oh my God, when he gets going in there like that, it's oh my God. For sure.
It's so crazy too, because it says she lost custody of her. custody of her kid.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if we see more of I don't know if we'll see more of the backstory with William, but like his dad, what happens with that? Like, I wonder if those, you know what I mean? Cause her and William's family are kind of linked, you know, they always do those mirrorings. So I wonder if that,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
I don't know.
Yeah. That was like, I mean, like, and then so like when we were going, like, even though I will say there was a touch of like a sociopathic kick. Like I understood what they were going for, but like William still is kind of a sociopath. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like there's I think that he's I think that he's, you know, we've reunited a dead nerve or something like that with him in this, and he's been that way for a long time. So old habits die hard. But like does it come down to like he was always like certainly with that scene that he was always like a well-intentioned shit?
Yeah, I'm saying
he never knew how to act to do the right thing in the right way. He would always do the right thing in the wrong way, maybe.
Yeah, because I feel like no, good guy William is going to be just as scary as bad guy William.
Right.
He will be like he'll be not like he's going to like put on a white suit and then all of a sudden like be gentle and light and sweetheart.
He's kind of like a Punisher good guy. We're like, you know,
still scary.
like,
an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And it's also scary, like, because now that he thinks he's the good guy, it's like that people go even crazier when they think they're the good guy.
Well,
when he is being nihilistic and like killing everyone in WestWorld.
That's what Dolores thinks. Dolores thinks that he's the good guy, and she's fucking turned into a little fucking cute little Robo Hitler over there. You know what I mean?
Did you see James Ellis like nodding though, like at William the good guy comment? He's like,
he was into it.
Right.
I love that. He was so smug. Like, oh, I can't believe they brought him back, because that was like one of my favorite parts. I was like, this is so ironic because William like was doing bad shit.
Yeah, totally. No. So I was gonna say, because there was like the thing where the dad says, he literally says like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" So like, there's like, it seems like there's something like there's still an inherent, I think there's like there's a hard and inherent flaw in his method, but maybe now his madness has kind of been toned down a little bit. Maybe that's the thing, because he's going in some interesting places. You know what I mean? Especially when he meets fucking Bernard. When Bernard like wakes him up, that was like a cool moment. I was kind of expecting it. I was expecting it to happen, but like when it did, you're like, ooh, okay. You know what I mean? Like because Taylor said this. I'm gonna pop this up on the screen. Which. What is it?
Yeah.
Why do we know exactly why? Like, what was the clue? Maybe I just forgot about it and I'm just an idiot. Like,
Same.
What do you got for us, Kyle?
Well, I actually think Bernard is Arnold.
Right.
Okay, if you watch it, like here's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Dolores says she rebuilt him from memory, and we take it as like, oh, okay, it's a Bernard. But what was Arnold trying to do in WestWorld? Like, what was their main goal? Like, they were trying to like this fidelity thing. They were trying to see, and it's because people were going to the park to experience this other world, right? Like and they were studying human behavior and seeing if humans can change their loops. It's all about loops, right? And we see that William essentially, like, he killed all of his past selves. Does that mean he's changed? Well, not completely. But we have seen William, even though he's killed his daughter and done other things, he still has the capacity for change, which is really important. And I think that's why Bernard is so important if he is Arnold, because he will understand that, like, because he will, know about William. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, old friend, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Hello, I think that's where they're going with it. This whole William thing.
Sure.
It's like because. I guess it's more like about like studying the past, and that's a really interesting too, because Serac's brother was studying the past.
That's how you study the past so you don't doom yourself to repeat the future. And
then we have Serac, who's doing this deterministic thing, trying to determine everything.
Yeah,
so that's kind of the thing that's
going full
battling, right?
about it, which would fucking make it pretty dope if fucking Caleb ends up being his brother.
Sure.
And we get, you know what I mean? Like that kind of makes that because that's another thing, even within the characterization of Caleb at this point, a lot of the a lot of the coal base of this fire of his character that he's got going is the fact that like it's like things that happened to him in the past, you know what I mean? And Serac is so focused on the future. So maybe that could be a little something.
That's why I find it hard to believe that like his whole like cat and mouse thing with Charlotte, where he's just like, oh, we got to root out the mole, and like he just lets her have like free range access wandering around, and then he's like, oh, I was paying attention to everybody, but not really.
Yeah, well, he said that the thing that tipped him off was that she called her family, but it's like that. Wasn't there anything else? Like how fucking weird she was acting this entire time.
Yeah, did the old Charlotte digging into her forearm every time she had a fucking stressful conversation? Or
I was like Serac,
maybe not.
The way they've written Serac, I'm like, I have a hard time believing that he wasn't like, I first thought it back when this, and then, but he was just like, no, you just called your family, and that's how I know. And it's like, feel like you would have known.
Yeah.
If you're to be believed as the
all-knowing, all-seeing,
right?
Wizard of
Oz.
No.
That's what. I also say this just because I think that's kind of that's the narratively that is where when you write a character in that way that is always 2 steps ahead, then you lay a lot of traps for yourself as a screenwriter, and I think they've mostly been fantastic with it, but I can understand it. And the other thing is,
it's like, cool. He's a hologram. It's fine.
Totally. No, I mean, but like it makes it like it makes you like start to think like the character in a certain way and think like these people, because that's how we process these stories. And so it's like, yeah, it kind of like, and then I mean, even though ultimately, like I've had misgivings with every single element of every season of this show in little bits and pieces. By and large, it's like moving really the ship's moving really, really smoothly forward. But I know what you mean, Mo, as far as like, yeah, it was just like, that's the only thing where it could have been like, they could have worked in like I think maybe like a beat of the story where he's like, no, I've fucking known who, like, the thing to, which maybe he might have, I don't know. Like he's like, I don't know. Wait, what do you think? What do you think, Kyle? What do you got?
Okay, so what is Serac looking for? He's looking for the encryption key, right?
True.
And Dolores is going to WestWorld with Caleb, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Now, remember that thing shot the stuff into the satellite and all that information. I think that Serac has he's calculated, because when we see the Rehoboam rings in the last episode, there's like 36 or 37 rings. When he goes down that tunnel and he pulls out a file, it's kind of a weird, like there's all the different Rehoboam rings. Totally. He must have calculated like all of these different outcomes, and he's like trying to percentage, like,
I got you.
Like Max Min type of shit.
He's Doctor Stranging it in Infinity War. He's trying to see the 14 million futures. You know what I mean?
So I think he actually does know. But like they're. You know what I mean? He's playing people. He has so much information. He's playing people, and I think that's going to be revealed in the next episode. We've only got 2 more.
Sure. We got one here. We're going to pull up this one from CJ right here. Significance of Charizard Loris taking the cuff bracelet off of her wrist during the board meeting.
Was that? And this is me totally, because I was like, why did she do that? And then I'm like, was it part of the poison machine?
The poison machine.
She poisoned everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
so I'm like, did she take it off? Because they pulled it out of her purse. So I was like, was it a component of that?
Like a twist or something? Or,
I don't know. It was metal and the machine was metal. I don't know. Maybe I'm just that was what the only thing, because they didn't answer that question because they kept focusing in on her cuff. Unless the point was that was her covering up her self-harm.
Yeah.
And that was her like being like,
I think it was, think it was the fact that she was, I think it was a kind of a metaphorical, like kind of symbolic, like character beat, not so much because I think what it was, she was wearing that to cover up like the marks or whatever it is. And the marks indicate like Charlotte Hale, like and her the intentions with that Charlotte Hale has within, and the conflict that Charlotte Hale has within her family. It's just like, you know what? I'm gonna be way more I'm way more what do you call it? Oh my gosh.
Cognizant?
No, well, no, I'm not cognizant. That's what no, I'm gonna be way more I'm gonna be exposing myself by going to my family. So she kind of says like, fuck it. I don't give a shit if they see what I'm doing, because this is I'm at the end game right now, and I'm just gonna make a choice for myself to go do something, and I don't give a shit who knows it, kind of type thing.
Yeah.
I think that could have been it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So even though I also did, because this is a Michael Crichton property, I was totally thinking of the canister of DNA in Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? Like where she had like, because I thought that was where all the files were.
Yeah, and she's gonna like pull it up and be like,
it's like oh, hold on, we got Serac here. See,
he's a hologram. He's a hologram.
He's a hologram. See, nobody cares.
And Jimmy Buffett walks into the boardroom holding a couple margaritas, and he's like, "Oh, oh, sorry."
That would be amazing. We missed it. We missed his cameo in season 1 when everything went to shit.
Vincent Castle has been amazing at Serac, though. Like,
he's been fucking great, man. I really think it's been a tremendous job by him.
Anything? I mean, like that dude's
true. That's true. I mean, like from Lahane all the way to that Black Swan. Like every time he steps up to the plate, he's always good. You know what I mean? Oh shit. Well, I mean, like what is so? You know, clearly we got like Maeve gets. You know, she gets like her new bod, and she's going to be set out in the world. So it's going to be her and who are we talking about? Clementine. It's gonna be her. It looks like it's gonna be her and Clementine. And I think even though we talked about this before, I remember we were saying like we didn't think that the whole thing was going to lead up to a lady fight, and I don't think that it's necessarily going to be ultimately just about that. But it does look like we're leading towards that confrontation. What are you guys thinking about that? How do you think that's going to shake out? Do you think that they're going to
really have all I know is definitely Maeve will never like team up with Dolores again, because that's the only reason they had Hector back, was like to give her like, okay, these two can't be a team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm wondering, and then Charloris will never, because it was Serac's man who killed her family, right?
Yeah,
well, that's what it seemed like. Yeah.
So it's like Charloris will never be on Team Serac.
Yeah.
So there'll never be any double crossing there.
Yeah.
So those are the only things I know, and then everything else is kind of up in the air. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. What do you think?
Where I thought that when William was in the simulation, that I thought that was going to be how when Maeve was like, "Oh, I need people, I need allies." I thought that that was how she was going to get William. But I don't really see that. I don't really see who's on her side. I don't know how Maeve is going to get her army. If she gets one person, like, and maybe the writer guy, like that's all she's got.
I mean, the only thing what I thought was going to happen is that Maeve was going to get she's going to get made. Maeve, Maeve's going to get made. Wow, say that 5 times fast. And then she's going to hop down and get herself and fucking do a fucking Knights King raise a bunch of fucking naked, creepy.
They burned them.
Robot.
Didn't they burn them though?
Well, no. I know that. I mean, but I thought that was what was going to happen until they started burning them and stuff like that.
We could see that at the end of the season. There was like some sort of exodus from WestWorld or something like that.
That's
like
right. I'm assuming that's not all of the hosts, so maybe she still might get to have that type of moment. You know what I mean?
Like, has a bunch of pearls, right? Like they're storing the pearls in that building.
Maybe,
so there's a bunch of pearls, and she has the equipment to build the bodies back.
Right.
Oh, damn.
Technically, if like everyone in that building is dead and it's just Maeve hanging out there, and she can just get her and then build Clementine, and then they could just get to work building a bunch of all the pearls that they find who are like allies.
Yeah,
anybody.
Yeah, there's been a really fun back and forth. I'm gonna pop it up on the screen real quick between CJ and Tyler. Though, because they were talking about like how like people like like how like people like, you know, because remember she had like her bag and she has like, it looks like if like Sauron was going to carry like a thermos or something like that. Like it was just like an evil looking thermos. And like, she kind of just places it down and like, nobody kind of thinks whatever. I mean, like
that looked like a bomb, not a thermos.
Yeah. Right. Like that's, yeah, they were just like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, no, I got my thermos right next to my really bulky vest that I got on right now. That's not a suicide vest at all. You know what I mean? Type shit. Like, yeah, it was like definitely like a little weird as far as that, but I did think the same thing. I mean, it was kind of like it had the same color scheme as the big Rehoboam orb, didn't it? It was like black and red, right? Yeah. So like that, which is already, I mean, how people don't know that thing's just like an evil factory. I don't know. Just by the look of it, you know.
Members. They were the board members, so they, you know, they're like,
they know.
They don't do this shit. They're not action board members.
I have a question for all of you.
What you got?
It just popped in my head. So let's say Serac and Dolores die, and we got season 4. There's always been kind of a villain every season. Does Maeve become that? I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking here, like, sure. You know what I mean? We kind of see this like graying of good and evil, like, well, not really good, but you know what I mean? We kind of see that every season. This kind of like, so I'm like really wondering who survives the season. Like, if Serac and Dolores die, okay, then they're gonna have to find someone new. Sure. Or there'll be a revelation. But what if Rehoboam wins? Like we don't know like which way they're gonna go at the end of the season. So that's really exciting, I think. Sure. Over the next 2 episodes.
Or like maybe, Well, I mean,
I see Serac lasting. I can't see it.
Yeah.
That would be a real big feat for the writers to pull that off and go into the next season. It would be kind of almost disappointing if he makes it through.
Because he'd be like, well, God like Rehoboam.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Or he's born again, or he puts himself into
that's kind of where I'm at, though. I'm like trying to think of like the end game for this season. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would be satisfied if the Serac and Dolores died, because like that's what they've been kind of seeing. But this is WestWorld, so I'm kind of expecting a little bit of a twist with that.
Well, I mean, the other thing is now we have a new saying now, because before, you know, with Game of Thrones, we would be like, until you see their fucking head on a pike, you do not know that we're dead. And now it's like,
see a little pearl, like
until you see their pearl crushed in the dust, you do not know if they're dead or not. You know what I mean?
Clutching my pearls.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. I mean, like that was very. I mean, because I've had
Batman's parents are dead.
That's what Joe Chill came up and he crushed.
Batman's parents were hosts.
He crushed.
She just wore them around her neck.
That's why Joe Chill and everybody wanted to murder the Waynes, because they wanted to create a robot revolution. Batman's the bad guy. Even more evidence that Batman's the fucking bad guy in this scenario. We
figured it out.
Yeah, man. Right.
So that's season 4 Westworld. Batman comes in.
I hear. Oh my God, Batman World, DC World. I would sign me the fuck up.
You want to go to Gotham? Oh no.
Yeah.
Gotham. Well, I'll go to the one.
It does have clowns.
I'll go to that one nightclub in Birds of Prey.
Ooh, yeah.
We still have one park we haven't seen.
That's still there's one park that we still have yet to see too. So maybe that would be fun to get like because you know that Disney and Marvel would be all over this shit. You know what I mean? Like they'd get into it for sure. Here, I'm gonna pop this up there from Sam. I feel like good and evil lines are blurring the season, like both. Yeah, I think that's very. I think that I think that their motivations are pretty sterling and crystalline and singular. But I think that like some of the things like their motivations are kind of what gives them some nuance. You know what I mean? Because I'm right there with you, where it's like even if you're like the bad guy, you still I can understand where you're coming from a little bit. You're still like a 90-10, even though I think that Serac is probably the number one big bad, I'd have to say, just insofar as how he's presented, and just because of how long we've been on this journey with Dolores, we just feel for her in ways that we can't really feel for Serac.
You know what we're seeing the two versions of the hero's journey. We're seeing the reverse with William, where the villain lives long enough to become the hero, and then we have the hero lives long enough to become the villain, sort of, or will at least be perceived that way.
Yeah,
I think with Dolores, right? So I think so we can have the death of these two ideas and something new with maybe with the fourth season, and the death of Dolores's idea. Well, not the death of it, but you know what I mean. Something in the middle between both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the way that the show has kind of been tracking insofar as it's trying to. There's been a lot of, because I'll say this, I mean, like the moral complexity of seasons 1 and 2 was never really called into question. You know what I mean? Like insofar as
Arnold.
Huh? Yeah, right. Except insofar as like what was driving most people, because you're just like, I completely get and understand, like, you know, like, yeah, the hosts are fucking dickheads, and like the hosts are like these kind of victims, and like the rich
people in the park are a bunch of assholes. Like,
yeah, which is exactly how it is.
Let's see how the hosts are gonna get out of their cage. This is exciting, and then
now we're in a lot more of an interesting kind of fertile ground for kind of more nuance, at least from a moral perspective and stuff like that, you know. So shit, what do you think? I mean, like that. Do you want to save it for the trailer? Do you want to talk about the trailer at all, or can we even just indicate? Because you guys
want to find out about what we think about the trailer, we should do it on Sunday.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it on Sunday. It's cool. Yeah. I mean, it is. The only thing I'll say is that it is basically just focused on one thing. So there's going to be one fucking thing that
we'll dive into it. We'll pull it up off HBO and we will discuss that.
So
I don't think they can't have Dolores and Caleb. I mean, it's the final 2 episodes, so I think that everybody's kind of like when everybody went to Winterfell. Like everybody's going to be kind of coming closer and closer together because all of their narratives are like
yeah, and that's where you get some of the most fun material and stuff like that. It's just watching. It was like the same thing, like, you know, a couple episodes back, like when they met at that weird, like fucking Kubrick, like sex party or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But just seeing them like meet,
eyes wide shut. Yeah.
The eyes wide shut part. But just seeing them kind of meet and be like, ooh, like what are they going to do? So I hope that they leave a little bit more room. You know, that ended up kind of just being like a fight. I hope they leave a little bit more room for like some meaty character stuff, because that's the shit that I'm really fucking excited to check out. Well, I mean, on that note, we just talked, anybody that's on the stream right now, if you guys want to get on some more live stream action, Kyle's got something to fucking tell us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me put the glasses back.
He does the fucking glasses reveal. I love that. But yeah, we're gonna be doing another live stream before this upcoming, these last 2 penultimate episodes. Kyle, tell us about it.
Yeah, for the next couple of weeks, we're gonna do a kind of like a Sunday fun show where we talk about the trailer, because mainly we analyze going back into the episode and kind of everyone's actions and stuff. It'll be fun to kind of predict a little bit and kind of talk about some of the things that, you know, we like. The trailers are pretty exciting. They're always cut in a deceiving way.
Oh,
to kind of, you know, make us theorize and all that kind of stuff. So,
in there though, for sure. But we're going to be doing another live stream. It's going to be on Kyle's channel, on Azor Ahype. Make sure you go over there and you give him a like and a subscribe, all that shit. Check him out on his Patreon and stuff like that. You can check us out on our Patreon, patreon.com/SeanTankTop, Azor Ahype, patreon.com/Azor Ahype. I'm assuming that's what it is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, we're like, I've been having like an absolute fucking ball going through this show with you guys. I'm super duper excited for where this is going to go, and I'll be glad to do it again on Sunday. What time are we going to do it on Sunday?
3 p.m. EST. So I think
so it'll be so 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. And
a little bit of a daytime thing. We want to do it like too close to the episode.
Yeah, we want to give ourselves a little bit of time to critique. Maybe we're like the maybe you get yourself a couple of Bloody Marys and have like a little boozy brunch or something like that, you know.
And I thought we could, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do.
Wait, what were you saying, Dustin?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Right? Hell yeah, dude.
And I only got 2 WestWorld videos I'm dropping this week, but I thought I could pull some interesting comments and some questions and kind of get like kind of like more of a back and forth discussion, ask questions you guys can ask me questions, kind of like an all around chill fun thing where everybody kind of gets a little bit of input, and it'll be really fun to see what everyone thinks.
We'll definitely cut it. You were saying you kind of want to make it more because we obviously we got a bunch of kick-ass people that comment on these live streams, but we want to make them like integrate them a little bit more and kind of have like a little bit more of an open dialogue. So that's what I'm really interested in fucking
Because like 75 minds is better than one.
75 minds are always better.
Honestly, well, reading all the comments after the fact has been really fun for me and has made me enjoy the show even more.
Yeah.
Some of you guys in the comments right now, I know, like, Tyler, we always call you out, or CJ, like, some really, really great comments about the show. And it's really awesome that you guys are engaging in a way that's similar to what we're doing.
Well, on my channel, someone who's been a subscriber for a long time through all the Game of Thrones stuff, her name is Bunny. She's actually helping craft some of the scripts and stuff with me. I was like, I love your thoughts. Like, how about you write on the channel a little bit this season? Like, let's collaborate on some stuff. Like that's, and I was in that position 4 years ago. I just had my fourth year YouTube anniversary last week. So that kind of thing, like if people get excited, like we're in this weird time where people should get their thoughts out and more people should explore doing this kind of thing. I think it's awesome. So.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and if anything, this motherfucking goddamn piece of shit, cock-sucking motherfucking pandemic. Oh, hold on. One more thing before we go back. One more thing. Hold on. I totally forgot. Dude, no. My rant totally re-triggered one thing. Did you guys fucking notice the fact that, like, when Dolores was going home and her lovely husband was watching TV, did you guys notice the television that he was watching, that it was vertical like a phone? And I was like, you know what, this modern future world, burn it to the ground. If we are surrendering to this vertical screen bullshit, then you fucking robots can have it, because that makes absolutely no fucking sense.
No more widescreen. It's just we're going.
No more widescreen. Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like
how do they show classic movies on that? Is it
classic movies is honestly the only thing that it actually kind of would or could make sense or whatever it is. But I don't know. It's almost like these fucking morons just can't turn a goddamn like basically just take their phone, turn it to one side, because it's not like human beings have their eyes positioned on their fucking head like this vertically.
You know what's interesting?
Any sense. And it made me want to jump out of the first time that I've contemplated suicide during this pandemic was when I saw that shit on this fucking show. So if that's the future, y'all can have it. Go back, check it out. There's a vertical screen on there, and it'll fucking if that's not going to keep you up at night. I'm going crazy like fucking William in here. I just killed 5 versions of myself over how angry I was at that fucking thing. But anyway, sorry, my rant. I totally remembered that I had that thing because I was. Wow. But if we get through this, if there's one thing that this pandemic has fucking taught us anything, it's given us like a way to connect with each other and with you guys in the comments and shit like that. And that's been a joy. You know what I mean? That's been the opposite of vertical screens. It's been an absolute joy.
This season has really been really good. Like I understand some of the kind of backlash. Season 1 had the mystery box, the great
and that was what it was for, totally. So
yeah,
I was good. I love this. You've been traumatized for the TV. Absolutely. No. But anyway, we just want to say thank you guys for hanging with us on WestWorld Wednesdays. We appreciate you. Hang out with us this coming Sunday on 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern.
The link's already up on the channel if you guys want to set your notifications.
Because Kyle is a professional and he actually knows how to do this live streaming shit, and he already has the link. So you can set it. You can set a reminder for yourself so it'll notify you whenever we get going. So anyway, we appreciate everybody out there. You guys have a safe week. Stay inside, and we will talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody. Bye.